So how does the Winchester Long Beard XR lead ammo compare against the Winchester Long Beard TSS ammo? Well, today we're going to test them head to head to find out. George here with the New Hunter's Guide, and today we're going to test one of the most popular lead turkey hunting ammos of all time, the Winchester Long Beard XR, against its brand new big brother, Winchester Long Beard TSS. Now, I bought both of these ammunitions with my own money, though Winchester did kindly give me a box of steel waterfowl ammo a couple years back. So the big question is, what do you need the TSS for? What does this do that the lead ammo doesn't do? Well, both come from the Long Beard line. Both of them should hold extremely impressive patterns for what they're made out of at long range. Of course, the XR stands for extreme range, but TSS gives you just more extra extreme range. It also gives you more margin. Now, we would expect the TSS to perform better than the lead ammo. In fact, it needs to because of the extra cost. But the question for this video, what we're trying to answer and get to the bottom of, is how much better does this TSS ammo do compared to the lead ammo? Is it a little better? Is it significantly better? Is it a lot better? That's what we want to find out. And in order to do that, we're not going to test these at traditional range. We would normally do 40 yards, but the goal of extreme range and TSS is to give you more range and more margin at range. So we're going to test them at 50 yards. That'll give us a good baseline because at close range, anything works. You don't need TSS ammo to shoot turkeys at 25 yards. That just is not necessary to pay that kind of money. So we're going to see what these will both do at the extreme ranges that they're designed for. Now let's go ahead and look at the specs on this ammunition. You can see here, starting with the lead ammo, we're going to use number 6s versus number 9 in TSS. That's how this goes. TSS number 9 should have more ballistic energy than number 6s, but we'll find out. The velocity difference is about 100 feet per second. The TSS is going a little bit slower. The recoil difference is massive. 44 pounds versus 65 pounds. That is a big difference. Can you feel the difference there? You absolutely can feel the difference there. Your payload, 1.75 ounces versus 2.375 ounces. So the TSS has a lot more payload to it, and the pellet count reflects that. 394 pellets approximately. There's some different scales that people use for pellets per ounce, but that's about the best number I could find. And TSS at about 859 pellets. So the TSS comes out with 118% more pellets. So you got more cost, you've got more recoil, but you've got well over double the number of pellets in that shell, and that's the reason that you want to go with TSS. Of course, we'll see how it does in terms of power also. So we're going to run this test at 50 yards. We're going to use the Carlson's Long Beard XR choke tube at 0.660 constriction. I bought this choke tube with my own money, though Carlson's has given me chokes in the past. This choke was designed for the Long Beard XR lead ammo long before the TSS ever hit the marketplace. Testing that I have done in the past, we have found outstanding performance with this choke on both these loads. Mossberg gave me the shotgun used in this video, and Holosun gave me the red dot. So we're gonna head down to the range and get this test started. And I have made it down to the range. It is a cold, wet, sloppy day with some wind and a ton of sunshine. But this time of year, we will take what we can get. We're set up at 50 yards. We've got the Mossberg loaded up here with the Long Beard XR choke tube. And we've got our Long Beard XR number 6 lead load. We're gonna take our first shot. All right, now we've got our Long Beard XR TSS. Feast your eyes on this one. All right. You want to know, does the TSS kick harder? It kicks harder. It kicks a lot harder. Impressive though. Let's go ahead and take a look at these patterns. I have both of these targets laid out here. Keep in mind, guys, 50 yards. Let's jump right in. First, we've got the lead. Good pattern for 50 yards. Then we've got the TSS. Really good pattern for 50 yards. So the TSS is definitely ahead. How far is it ahead? Well, only a little bit of counting and math will tell. But I'll do that for you guys. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at some ballistics gel. Bear with me on the lighting on this one. I had to get all the way back under the pavilion to be able to hit 50 yards based on where I had to set the gel up due to the mud and the cold. But I've been keeping the ballistics gel in my car this whole time, so even though it's a freezing day out, it's been at a nice 70 degrees all this time, so we should be good. We're gonna lead off first with the Long Beard XR lead. And then because one's copper plated and one's not, we can just go ahead and throw the TSS right in behind it and then take both shots back to back. Wow, that second one just kicks a lot more. When you shoot 1-2 like that, you notice it. But I'm still standing, and if you were hunting in the woods, taking a shot at a gobbler, you'd still be standing too. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this gel and see how we did. I didn't mention this earlier, but I got a brand new block of ballistics gel to do this test. So I've got it laid out here. This thing is crystal clear. You can see these pellets perfectly, and the results are really impressive. Let's go ahead and take a look. They're both from left to right. You can see the copper ones, and then you can see the TSS. And we're at somewhere around 2-ish inches versus somewhere around 3 inches. So the TSS is definitely ahead of the lead shot on this one by a significant sum. Keep in mind, 50 yards. Now I'm gonna get that data, put it in a chart along with the pattern data and get it to you guys momentarily. Now that test was a lot of fun, but you know what's even more fun? The data. Let's go ahead and take a look. You can see here at 50 yards in a 10-inch circle, the lead gives us 100 pellets. How many pellets do you want in a 10-inch circle? Well, I want to see 100 pellets or more at whatever range that I'm shooting. So at 50 yards, we are just there. At 51 yards, I don't know. But at 50, we've got enough. The TSS, however, gives us 268 pellets at 50 yards. That is 168% more pellets. That is drastically more. Now you look at the pattern efficiency, the TSS did a little bit better, but all that really matters is the number of pellets on the paper or on the turkey. So the TSS comes out drastically ahead. And it better because it was drastically more expensive, which makes me wonder, why would you guys not subscribe and hit the like button? But let's go ahead and take a look at the ballistics gel data. You can see here the Long Beard lead ammo, 2.35 inches of penetration. Now, what's the minimum penetration you want? Well, the average most people go by is 1.25 to 1.5 inches of penetration at whatever range you're shooting. So more than ample at this range, but the TSS comes out with 3.17 inches. So 35% more ballistics gel penetration coming out of the TSS ammo. That is significantly more. So the TSS ammo gives you a lot more pellets on the paper, and it gives you a lot more ballistics gel penetration. So which load is right for me? Well, that depends on the hunting scenario. Like I said, at close range, you don't need that kind of money to being spent on TSS. But at long range, if you've got to poke out there further, what the TSS is giving you here is not really more effectiveness at 50 yards. It's giving you more margin. There's a lot more pellets. You're going to have a bigger circle. You're going to have more margin of error. You're going to have a little more penetration. At 55 or 60 yards, the TSS is probably still going to be viable. So if you underestimate your range a little bit, then that gives you margin in terms of range. Whereas this lead load with this particular combination of choke tube is maxed out at about the 50-yard mark. So the bottom line here is use whatever ammo that you want to use that's effective at whatever ranges you plan to hunt. But make sure you test that ammo through whatever choke tubes you plan to use at those ranges. I tested both of these ammos through a whole slew of choke tubes. You can find the lead test here and the TSS test there. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and go get them in the woods.